Charlemagne, or Charles the Great, wasn't just a king. He was the man who reshaped Europe. In the late 8th century, he united much of Western Europe under the Carolingian Empire. His reign blended conquest with culture, as he promoted education, strengthened Christianity, and introduced a unified legal system. In the year 800, Pope Leo III crowned him Emperor of the Romans, reviving the ancient idea of a united empire in Europe. Because of this, historians call him the Father of Europe. His vision laid the groundwork for the nations of France and Germany we know today. Saladin, the noble sultan. Moving east, we meet Saladin, the Kurdish warrior who became Sultan of Egypt and Syria in the 12th century. He's remembered not only for his victories but for his character. In 1187, he shocked Europe by retaking Jerusalem from the Crusaders. Yet, unlike many medieval conquerors, Saladin showed mercy, allowing Christians to leave the city unharmed. Even his greatest rival, Richard the Lionheart, respected him. Saladin's blend of military genius and compassion made him a hero in both the Islamic and Western worlds. If you love these powerful stories from history, make sure to subscribe. We bring you legends like these every single week. William the Conqueror, the king who changed England. Few victories have reshaped a nation more than William the Conqueror's win at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. William, Duke of Normandy, crossed the English Channel, defeated King Harold, and became the first Norman king of England. His rule transformed England's language, culture, and politics forever. The English we speak today still carries the mark of his Norman French influence. Without William's conquest, England's history, and the world's, would have looked very different. Joan of Arc, the peasant who became a saint. From kings to a humble peasant girl, Joan of Arc's story is one of the most inspiring of the Middle Ages. At just 17, Joan claimed she was guided by visions from God. She convinced the French crown to let her lead troops during the 100 Years' War. Against all odds, she lifted the siege of Orléans and inspired the French to fight back against English domination. Captured and executed at just 19, Joan became a martyr, and centuries later, a saint. She reminds us that leadership is not about crowns, it's about courage. If Joan of Arc inspires you, drop a in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button so more history lovers find this video. Genghis Khan, the world conqueror. Born as a poor boy named Temujin, Genghis Khan rose to build the largest land empire in history. He united the Mongol tribes and unleashed a military force that swept across Asia and into Europe. But Genghis was more than just a warlord. He built a system of trade, communication, and law that connected East and West through the Silk Road. His empire influenced cultures, economies, and governments long after his death. To this day, Genghis Khan's name represents both fear and admiration. Richard the Lionheart, the Crusader king. While Genghis terrorized the East in the West, Richard the Lionheart was carving out his legend. King of England, Richard spent most of his reign fighting abroad in the Crusades. Although he never recaptured Jerusalem, his battles against Saladin became legendary. He embodied the image of the brave knight, fearless, charismatic, and relentless. Richard spent little time ruling in England, but his reputation as a warrior king lives on centuries later. History is full of stories like this, so if you haven't already, subscribe now and join our journey through the past. Emperor Justinian the Fatus, the lawgiver of Byzantium. Shifting to Byzantium, we meet Justinian the First, who ruled in the 6th century. His dream was nothing less than restoring the old Roman Empire. He reconquered lands in North Africa and Italy, rebuilt Constantinople after a massive riot, and most importantly, created the Justinian Code, a legal system that shaped European law for centuries. Despite plagues and rebellions, Justinian left behind a legacy as one of history's great lawgivers. Kublai Khan, the Mongol Emperor of China. Genghis Khan's grandson, Kublai Khan, expanded the Mongol Empire even further, conquering China and founding the Yuan dynasty. Unlike his grandfather, Kublai embraced local culture, blending Mongol traditions with Chinese governance. He made Beijing his capital and welcomed foreign travelers like Marco Polo, whose tales spread Kublai's fame across Europe. Through him, the Mongols became not just conquerors, but rulers of one of the world's greatest civilizations. Harald Hardrada, the last great Viking. Before the Normans conquered England, the country faced one last Viking storm, Harald Hardrada. Nicknamed the Thunderbolt of the North, Harold fought across Europe before claiming the throne of Norway. In 1066, he launched an invasion of England but fell at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. His defeat ended the Viking Age, but his bold spirit ensured the Vikings would never be forgotten. Frederick Barbarossa, the red-bearded emperor. Finally, at number 1 stands Frederick Barbarossa, the Holy Roman Emperor. His fiery red beard and determination made him legendary. Barbarossa sought to unite the German states and dominate Italy. His strength and leadership made him one of the most respected rulers of the medieval world. Even after drowning mysteriously during the Crusades, myths spread that Barbarossa was not truly dead, that he sleeps beneath a mountain, waiting to rise again when his people need him most. A ruler in life, a legend in death. That is why Frederick Barbarossa tops our list. Which one do you think had the greatest impact? Tell us in the comments below. And remember, like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another story from history's dark and fascinating past.